This episode of It's Corona Time is brought to you by the 91BTV YouTube channel. 91BTV specializes in making content that is interactive, entertaining, and innovative. 91BTV produces a variety of content ranging from short films to commentaries to vlogs via various shows like Kevin's That Make Us Friendship and Love, Kevin's Living Moments, and Tech Now. To check them out, go to youtube.com/91BTV. Hello, people of the world and YouTube fam. My name is Kevin Jackson, and welcome back to the latest episode of It's Corona Time. It's your boy, as usual, and we have a fabulous guest here today, and let's have them introduce themselves, and why should you listen to them?
Hey everyone, my name is Denaly, and I am here with Kevin today, who invited me to come and, share a little bit about my story. So I am a fourth year, non-traditional senior at the University of Laverne, and I am a biology major and, wanting to do med school route. So basically in school for the rest of my life. But, I'm just going to share a couple of my ups, downs, anything in between, the boring quarantine, routine. So hopefully you guys, take a little bit of what I share today.
Most definitely. Just want to thank you again for being on the podcast. This is our 6th podcast, which is crazy, We're doing it for a month strong now. Started basically from nothing. I was like, man, I want to venture into podcasting land, and I want to do something that's a little bit, outside my usual format. So I'm glad that it's still going strong, and just like to thank you for being on today. As per usual, we always have a drinking something. So right now I got this Young's Double Chocolate Stout. What you got going on?
I have Arrowhead water.
Hey, like I was telling her earlier, the Arrowhead be the nastiest water. And you got to get with the Dasani, the Crystal Geyser, the Tap. No, I'm playing.
You want to know something? That's something that a water drinking person would say, okay? If you like drinking water, okay, you will drink everything. So.
Okay, I love drinking water. So yeah, I usually have like bottles right now in my room that like I'm recycling, and I'm supposed to move that out to the garage, but right now I'm building like a pyramid of them. So I do drink water, and I drink it frequently, especially when I was in high school. All right, I was drinking water literally all 4 years because I was in band. So even though I'm switching over right now, specifically for the podcast, hey, I still do drink it, all right?
Just because you're having the podcast, I accept, okay?
Okay, it's not Corona for a reason, okay? There's got to be some type of elixir.
Right, you're right, I agree.
It smells chocolatey, of course. It is double chocolate, so it's that more strong scent in there.
I've never had chocolate beer. That's pretty cool. Oh.
It is, man. I've been learning. I learned about this last semester when I took the beer class. So
that's right, Cal Poly.
Cal Poly Pomona, best school on the West Coast.
No, my cousin actually works for the wine. I think it's like a wine company on campus.
Oh shoot!
Yeah, and she actually so she does all the wine tasting. Stephanie, my cousin Stephanie, she does wine tasting, and she also during the fair.
Oh yeah, the food and the food and
yeah, the Los Angeles County Fair. So I've worked the fair before, but my cousin, she's always in charge of the wine section. So it's pretty cool. Free wine tasting for me. I'm literally, I walk in there whenever I want. She's like, hey, you want whatever? What do you want? You want a whole bottle of this? You want that? Hell yeah, bring the Chardonnay. I love Chardonnay. I'm a Chardonnay girl. So
hey, I'm a Muscat. That's
okay.
That's more me. And what else? What other wine do I like? I'm taking a wine one right now, so I'm learning more about that. I got the beer one last semester and the wine one now. Like that one last night I just tried. Merlot. So
okay.
That was a little bit too tannin for me, but it's all right. So as I go, I'll explore more different ventures, more different beers and more different wines. So I get to realize what I like.
I would say I wasn't a beer person, and then just literally, I don't know why, one day I was like, you know what, I'm craving beer, and I became a beer person. Literally, and now
it was a switch.
I'm like, okay, flip the switch. Who now? I can literally go to any restaurant, and I'm like, I feel like an adult now. Give me a beer, bring it on. I'm craving like a really cold beer, but definitely. I mean, what kind of beer do you drink? I
Right now on the podcast has been straight stouts,
Oh
but
no.
it's mostly a range of everything. One of my favorites, I would say, like, because people's got like Bud Light and Budweiser and all those regular common stuff.
Mhm.
But out of the common things, I would say I like Modelo Negra. That one is pretty dope.
Okay.
So I had a party one time. Yeah, it was last semester. I bought that like okay for other people too, but it was technically for myself because I was
Yeah.
like, some people haven't tried this before. I don't know if they're gonna like it personally, but I'm just gonna buy that for everybody. So
You know what? You have to keep people's minds open. All right, you gotta help them out.
yeah,
Teach
that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to expand their minds with all different type of beers, from ales to lagers, and from different parts of the world. So like this one is an English beer. So from
Okay.
Total Wine. So
Nice.
next time you're
I,
there,
I need to try the chocolate. What the heck? That's
mhm.
so random. I feel like they shove chocolate everywhere.
Hey, they do all the time. But I mean, most of the chocolate beers, the chocolate stouts, they don't even add chocolate in. It's just in terms of like the brewing process and the fermentation
Oh,
that it has a flavor. Um, but this one I think it does add. Yeah, this way,
does it
stout
add
brewed
chocolate?
with chocolate, so it does have
Oh, it
chocolate
does have chocolate.
and the
Okay.
chocolate flavor added. So, but some
Interesting.
other ones don't.
Amen to fermentation. Thank you. Thank you, biology, chemistry.
Oh, yep, gave me spirits, ciders, perries, and wine.
Exactly.
So going on, let's actually talk about a little bit of how we met, if you would still remember that. That was like fall semester when I was taking all these classes. I met y'all in the library. Y'all was sitting down, studying very studiously. And then I don't think I think I just finished a quiz that day. So I was like, I'm not in the mood to really like do homework or like focus on this education stuff right now. I'm trying
Hmm.
to talk to people.
Right.
So then I was like, I came up to y'all. You were sitting with your friends, and I was like, "Yo, what's up? How y'all doing?" And it's funny that since I'm like such a like tech geek too, and
Uh-huh.
I work at Best Buy, I was like, how I started off the conversation. I was like, "Yo, what
Oh,
MacBook is that?"
yeah, you were like, hey, what MacBook is that? And I'm like, is this guy serious? Like, literally, how many MacBooks are there? There's like three different versions. Why? What's going on? Like, what the hell is this? And my initial thought was like, okay, why did he have to start the freaking conversation like that? Like, but then you ask about what do you ask? Oh, what laptop is that? And then you will go on a whole tangent. I don't even remember, to be honest, but conversation was like what 3 hours long, and then I was like, okay, this guy's pretty cool. He has a lot to talk about, and I appreciate people who share their whole life in the 3 hours, the first 3 hours of meetings. Very it would seem like a very genuine opportunity to to just meet someone new. So I do meet people, but I think it's really hard for me to meet people that are also as open.
Mm-hmm.
There's not that many people who it's not anyone you can just go talk to and like have a whole ass conversation with.
Man, because some people be like, I'm not really for that, and then some people are like, you have to lean them into it.
Yeah.
So,
So and then other people you're just like, I don't know, just not interested. Like they're like, they're studying in the library. I get it, but sometimes we need a break, right?
oh yeah, of course. I mean, that's my friends like to call me the distraction, because I'm one of those people that's like I it seems like I waste a lot of time, but I still get my work done. But it's like I kind of drag you away from like whatever you're doing, like and like yo, let's do this instead, like or like let's take a break from this, like especially in the library, it's like yo, let's go down to Starbucks real quick and get this drink. And since the lines in Starbucks are like so long, it's like we having a full conversation in the line.
And not even that, but like your fucking distance, your distance between the freaking distance from the library to Starbucks and everything. I feel like Cal Poly is so big. I have a lot of friends there, right? And they're like, oh, come study, or I feel like it's a good place to focus. But
Mhm.
walking to the library, walking to Starbucks, going back to your car, forgetting something, that's a whole hour right there. So,
Mhm.
one little trip is turns into freaking 45 minutes, an hour.
Oh.
I'm always like,
Mhm.
because I go to Laverne, so you
Mhm.
walk 30 steps and you're already, at Starbucks getting something. You walk 10 steps, you're at your car. So I'm not used to that, like I'm not used to the whole walking. So definitely every time I go to Cal Poly, I'm like, it's gonna be a mission.
It's a
Right?
mission if you choose to accept it.
I don't know how you guys do it every day. Like literally.
Hey, I mean, I got lucky, like I have electric skateboard, so I just zoom around every place, so I'm privileged, I'm blessed to have that. But y'all campus really is small. Like I went there one day and I was just like, everything is like in such close radius. Like my skateboard is like gonna be on the other side within a minute. Like I don't even think there was a reason to take it.
All right, but you have a skateboard. I'm like walking the whole time and I have a big backpack, freaking weigh
Hey,
30 pounds.
you gotta invest. You gotta invest in your transportation,
Definitely,
And where you
definitely.
need all the books. They don't got ebooks.
Hey, definitely, that's right. I have an iPad. I'm still carrying my books, but definitely, I don't know how you guys do it. Like big campuses, not for me. I can't. It's
Mhm.
hard. I feel like it takes, it's time that you don't really need to be traveling back and forth. Like up back to your car and parking at your school is pretty crazy, huh?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. People don't get parking like when they come at like right after 8 o'clock. Like, what's 8 o'clock a.m.? How? But it's just there's so many people at the school, like 25,000 people, and there's not enough parking spaces, so you can't really overcome that. And when you have to go to the overflow, it's like I mean like a 15-20 minute walk to if you can get to the other side of campus for your business class. So it's insane.
It's a lot
Um,
going on, huh?
yeah, it's a lot. I mean, sometimes I would say I'm blessed too, like with the skateboard too. Like this mid, I usually get parking because like I know where the park and the times to come. But
Mhm.
when I don't, I just got the skateboard and I can just zoom from the overflow parking lot.
And I feel like you have you realize you notice the patterns, right? Like when to
Hmm.
go to school, if you have class at this time or whatever. So
Hmm. But there was this one semester though that I came at 1 p.m. And 1 p.m. is the worst because like everybody's got like class. But I was lucky. Like every time I would come for Monday and Wednesday class at 1 p.m., like I would get parking in a nice spot. And I was like, I'm lucky out here, man. I'm
you're
lucky.
blessed. I know. Honestly, look, I leave my house. I live like what 7 miles from Laverne, right? So I have class, whatever, 10:30 or and I will leave my house at 10. And I will get there like what 10:20, and I will still or whatever like 10:15, right? I usually take the streets, the long route. And I get there, boom, always parking. And my class, there's only so many classrooms that you can go to. It's a really small campus. So
Mm.
my school is literally what, like 3 streets long, like 3 blocks, small blocks. So I park my car, I walk like 50 feet, and I'm there. So super
Hey.
super easy, super chill. But you know what, a lot of parking tickets though, because I usually park on the street.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I hella like, it's to the school.
Mhm. You guys don't have you guys have to pay for the parking permits too?
No, we have a free parking.
Oh, okay.
But like sometimes it's just sometimes the parking lots are
A hassle?
full. No, they're full because there's a lot of
Oh.
construction on my school right now. So
Oh.
all the construction workers park their cars, or they'll put like the big trailers or trucks, with materials and stuff. So there's like 20 construction workers just chilling in a parking spot, or parking lot, taking up like 30 parking spaces. So that was the issue with my school, this year. But I've never really had that much of an issue with parking. So I'm blessed.
Both of us. Until you come to Cal Poly and then it's then it's
True.
like a waste. But there was something else I think that I wanted to talk about besides that as well. Just talking about the first time that we met
All
and
right.
more about
So
your major.
I think okay. So first you made me okay. You made me guess. Okay, you made me guess like, oh, what is my major? And I guessed right, didn't I? I said you're engineering. Yes, I did
Mm-hmm.
guess right. And
Mm-hmm.
then I was you were like, okay, what kind? And then I think I said civil.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I remember now. Mm-hmm.
And you were like, ooh, I don't know. I think I usually people that I meet. like civil engineers, they're pretty out there. They're outgoing. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I was like, oh, this guy's pretty outgoing. He doesn't seem like a total like nerd where he's like computer engineer or something. Computer engineering, maybe not. And then mechanical, industrial, whatever. But civil was more of like general idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but and then I think, did I make you guess my major, or what did you
I
say?
think it was the year. I think it was
Okay,
the year that you made me guess.
there you go. So you made me guess. I mean, I made you guess a year.
Mm-hmm.
Completely got it wrong. What did you say? You said like sophomore, right? And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm not, definitely not 19. Definitely non-traditional. But it's a struggle. It definitely is a struggle.
hmm Hey, I don't think it matters though, man. As long as we finish, as long as we graduate, as long as we get this money at the end of the day,
No,
that's what matters.
I know that now. You're right. You're right. It's
hmm
definitely, the journey makes it worth it, if that makes sense. You meet so many people, you stop talking to people, but then you meet other people, and I feel like everyone contributes to your journey. I mean, not everyone, but the people that
Along the way.
stay in your life, along the way, a lot of people, they do help you and stuff. So that's why I'm super open with when I meet new people, and ask anyone that knows me. I literally talk to the whole world. Like, I'm an open book. You want to ask me a deep question 3 minutes after you meet me? Go ahead. Like, that's fine, because you never know. The most meaningful conversations that I have are with like strangers, because there's no bias. There's no initial like, oh, I already kind of have an idea of what you're gonna answer, or in my mind, the other person, since they know me already, they're already making up of something with that they think that I like, they think my perspective is a certain way, right? But someone that I don't know, I can just completely you know um answer based on what I actually believe and not what the other person believes. You know what I mean?
hmm
I think it's more real, if that makes sense. But yeah, so I met you, and you're with a couple friends. I honestly don't even remember but who your friends are, but
They were sitting across the way. They didn't come until later on. They didn't
right.
come until later
I
on.
don't even,
Mhm.
do you still talk to them?
Of course, yeah, definitely. Uh-huh. Armando, David, those
Hmm.
peeps.
Yeah, so I remember they were there, and they were like, they were laughing at you because you came over, and they were like, dude, he has guts to come and talk to a bunch of random people, because I was there with my friend. I was there with my friend Sam and my friend Melissa, I think, and we were there with Miriam, my friend Miriam. She's the one
No,
that
he wasn't there.
Miriam got there. Yeah, she was there
Oh,
after.
oh, she was like way off though. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think she was sitting next to y'all.
No, she wasn't really, or maybe
Mm-mm.
I feel like, oh, I don't know, maybe when you left, but
Maybe.
anyway, she's mechanical engineer, so that's how, if not, I would have no idea what you engineers do. I
Hey,
would
she
have
feels you on and everything.
zero idea of your lives, but I know a little bit. But
hmm But
definitely was a good day though. And then, okay, so I do remember that, right? Um my friend Sam and I, Melissa, Sam and I, but Sam and I, really, we were talking to you about, hey, we have an idea. You started saying, I don't even know how the topic came up, but you're like, I'm
I
throwing
think I
a
was
party.
talking about my party.
And we were like, oh, that's so hilarious, because we want to throw a party, like we want to get into the but we wanted to do it. Okay, so we were like having this crazy idea. We know someone who goes to Africa, I'm sorry, who currently resides in Africa, and um they come here, and they do like a lot of great fundraisers and ideas on how to raise money to take the money back and help different kids in Africa. So um they help, not only help those kids like with food or anything, but it's a school of 800 kids, right? And they feed the whole community lunch every day. So the the school is built on, like, through the community. So whatever materials they find, whatever donations they find, whoever is willing to volunteer and teach the kids, that's basically how they go off. So it's a very underrepresented area. And so we were like, you know what, we really want to do something good for those kids. We really feel like we connect to them. We connect to the person representing them. We really want to bring something back, no matter how small, whatever, but we want to feel like we want to make it a thing. We want to make something come out of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, okay, what's the better way to fundraise than a party? you know and we were like really excited about it. So we were actually talking about it when we met you.
Yep.
And you were so open about it. You were like, oh dude, like, let's do it. I'll help you guys, like, I'm down. I'll go there, count me in. And we made the date, and it happened. And you did support. You came out. I remember it was a good time. And now thinking back at it, I'm like, how random. Like, you come talk to us and you're like, you know what, hey, we have this party. You're so open. You're over here like, oh yeah, let's do it. So I think that's pretty cool. Seeing how positive people come into my life, and they're willing to, not everyone's gonna support you. Say, hey, come to my party, but it's like $15, because I did charge $15 and stuff. And that's, I mean, we're in college, right? That's a little much for a party, but we did raise. We actually so a lot of people donated drinks, alcoholic drinks. So they'd be like, hey, a couple of my friends, right? Hey, I'll give you a bottle of this, or I'll put this bottle. And then my parents bought food, like the appetizers and stuff, right? Snacks. And they bought a couple of drinks as well. And so we were like up for the fun, but for a good cause, of course. a little twist on fundraising and charity. So we raised like what, $900 something dollars. So we
Wow.
ended up, like, yeah, my parents rounded it up to 1,000, but it was pretty good. It was like nothing, like, I don't know, it felt like it was such a simple, act, like just a couple friends going together, but it did make an impact. And then come to find out later on, I give them the money and stuff, and they're like, this is going for like a really good cause. Like, they're actually opening up a medical center. It's called St. Joseph's Medical Center. And so with that money, you brought some friends and everything, so you donated, you actually got some kids, some and people in general, because it's a center for like adults and children, right? But they basically hired nurses, and they got like concrete, they got wood to build the actual center. So that's pretty cool. And now I'm like, okay, now Corona kind of ruined my plans, but hey, now I'm even more like thinking about something even bigger, or something, in the future. So I don't know. I think I never got to, personally thank you. You're very open, actually, about, spreading positivity. I love that. Like, everything I told you of, like, oh, I have this plan to help these kids and this, you were like, I'm for it. Let's go. Let's do it. Like, let's make it happen. So I never formally said, like, hey, I really appreciate your friendship, thank you for going up to random people, and you never know what comes out of it.
Yep, that's just the path that, that's instilled in me, that, God puts on my heart, and I'm just, I'm honored by that. And I thank you. I appreciate that too. Like I said, it's all out of love. It's all out of kindness, compassion, especially for the kids as well. And it's dope that my money's going to that medical center too. Wow.
And we have fun, so
Oh yeah. It was definitely lit. I enjoyed my time there. I got up on the dance floor, even though it was a little bit different in terms of the music selection.
right,
But
and who's to blame for that? I don't know. It's okay. I don't
I
even
ain't
remember.
blaming nobody. It's okay as long as you can adjust and adapt. That's what matters.
There you go.
So, thank you for sharing that. And yeah, that was one of my highlights that I specifically remember. One of the first times that I took a leap of faith on that too. So
Nice. It's a good time. So so hey, we'll update for next year, because all plans canceled for 2020. Postponed to 2021. Let's do that, right?
Everything is postponed. Graduation.
Graduation. That topic.
So
Oh,
how do you feel about like Corona? How has that directly impacted you?
okay, well, in the beginning, okay, I find out, what is this, like, I'm taking exams, right? Like my first midterms, and I'm over here like hearing rumors like, oh, coronavirus is thing. I have a really crazy Arab friend. One of my Arab friends, her name's Flurry. She's like, already this was like mid-February, and she was already carrying hand sanitizer in her hand, like disinfectant. She was cleaning everything,
Ahead
and
of the
by
curve.
we were no one knew about it, right? Like everyone was chilling, no one really cared, and she was over here wiping tables, like, oh my gosh, that person is coughing. I'm trying to stay away, and I was like, you need to relax. This is not a big deal. You're like, just chill, bro. I feel like I played myself so hard. Now I'm like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. How did I not pay attention? I feel like we didn't really, it happened from like literally from day to the next day, like in one day, boom, that's it. Like everyone was quarantined and everything. So I'm taking my first midterm, so I'm not really worried. I'm just chilling. I'm not really listening to people. I'm over here studying, grinding, trying to pass my exams. But then I get an email from the school, and then they're like, "Oh, we know that coronavirus is going on. There's like rumors or like a fake news that school's canceled. They're like, it's not canceled for now. Still attend your classes, attend exams." And at this point, I'm hearing about it so much that I'm like, you know what? This is old news. Like, school needs to get closed already, because they keep saying that's gonna get canceled and it's not. And I'm like, I have this exam that I don't. Quite frankly, like now I feel like I don't want to take this. It gets canceled before my exam. Um, and then there was actually like like a rumor going around that someone from Laverne got corona. So this
Ooh.
girl tweeted that she got tested for corona, and it was like really a pretty like scandalous event. So
Mhm.
everyone was like, all the students, all my peers, they were like, I'm not coming. Oh hell no, someone has corona. And the school
Wow.
sent out an email like, that's not true. The girl's Twitter got deactivated. Yeah,
Oh shoot.
my school was like, oh hell no, you're not gonna spread rumors. Like, no one has corona here. And so apparently, like, it was confidential information, so she wasn't supposed to say anything about it, but she tweeted it. I don't know. For me, I was kind of like, it's her personal account, but then, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
you're tweeting something, it's if it's about you, it's fine. But there was a lot of issues with that. And then, so then, it was on a Friday. And that Friday, they were like, they sent an email out, right? And they're like, we're closing the school for the next 2 weeks, right?
Mhm.
That was what they said. Or sorry, no, this was on Thursday or Wednesday.
Mhm.
Yeah, Wednesday or Thursday, they sent out an email that was like, you have to attend all classes. And after we had that week after, we had spring break. So they said, we're gonna have spring break, and then we're gonna have 2 weeks off, but then we're coming back. That's what they said, right? So I was like, okay, cool. I was like, that's pretty cool. Like, we get a couple weeks off. Okay, this is chill, like Zoom University fun, right? And so, I come back, and it's like Friday. I check my email, and they're like, school's canceled for the whole semester. Online everything, graduation, all events not happening. I was like, what the hell? I literally lost it. I was like freaking out. I was like, oh hell no, this is like, dude, I was supposed to graduate, walk on stage finally after 6 years of like attending university and stuff. So it kind of hit me. I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm missing out. I was having so much fun, my last semester, and I'm gonna miss out, my final. And I love Laverne. Like, Laverne is that university. Like, I hold it so close to my heart. I went there with my sister. I have that memory.
Mm.
So it was just it's a dear place for me. And I enjoyed it. So I was just pissed. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna miss out on my last time here. And it was so unexpected that there's always a lot of things that you want to do, right? When something is ending, a chapter, you're like, dang, I should have done this and this. Or how did I never do this one thing I always wanted to do? But you don't think about it in the moment. You just
No.
think about what's next.
Yeah.
So I think it made me feel pretty bad, because my graduation, everything was postponed, right? And then, so that was bad. But then, even worse now, the AAMC, so the medical school entrance exam, the MCAT, they started announcing. I was supposed to take my MCAT in May, right? They started
Oh
announcing,
no.
slowly they start announcing, canceled. We're gonna postpone the dates until, they're like, oh, we're only gonna cancel it until April, right? And they're like, you know what, we're gonna cancel it till May. So now they're like, we're canceling everything until like early June or something, or like late May, early June. So absolutely all the single test dates are gone, like they're gone. So now there's like thousands of students who come, when quarantine is over, they're gonna go out there and take all these, their exams and stuff, and they're going day by day, like the website is putting out new information day by day, right? So you don't even know, like you're literally living day by day. You can't plan, coming from like a pre-med mindset. You're told plan, right? Like if you want to apply to med school, you plan a year before to apply, right? Like every grad school. And then 2 years before start your clinical experience, or it's all a plan. Like
Yeah.
your pre-med plan, take these courses in time so that when you take your exam. But then right now when it actually comes through, and I'm actually gonna finally apply after all these years, everything gets changed. And so you're taking it day by day. And so the first couple of weeks, yeah, I was pretty bummed. I was like, dang, this is gonna be bad. But then my sister's boyfriend, he's pretty cool. I always, there's always that one person you can talk to about anything. And I told him, he goes to Laverne as well. His name's Kevin, and he's like,
Oh, that's ironic.
right, ironic, yeah, Kevin Pickering. And he's like, dude, trust me, like don't even worry about it. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be easier. You have online. You have your own time. It's not gonna get canceled. Everything's gonna get postponed, right? So that kind of and having good support, I think, helped a lot. Like having my parents, my sister, and friends and stuff. We were all going through the same thing, and then I started realizing, all my my friends that were athletes, I feel bad for them, my senior friends. Dude, I felt so bad. Like some, they were in track and stuff, and they were like trying to beat the record, and that's it. They just got cut off right in the middle, or not even like quarter, right? So then it helped a lot, like to see people sharing their stories, or like their what they were going through on social media, because it made me feel like, okay, you know what, I'm not,
No.
everyone's going through this, like, and even more, like now the more I go out, random, like when I'm grocery shopping, I always hear, people start telling me like, yeah, my niece was gonna graduate, pharmacy school, but it's canceled for them. And it's crazy, like what is it, Loma Linda, their pharmacy program, they didn't even postpone graduation, like theirs is just canceled and that's it. Yeah, so it's like, that's even worse. That sucks, because I would be pissed. That's hard. Pharmacy school is really hard, so that was, for me, I felt okay, my situation is not the worst. Come to think of it, like, in a couple months my school is gonna have some kind of celebration, or we're gonna be able to walk or something. So
Yeah.
if I choose to, have the option. But there's people out there who haven't even, like, come talking about, obviously there's people, that are in worse situations, but people who are going through, not being able to graduate, some of the schools are just canceling. So, that kind of gave me a peace of mind, right? So then what, now we're like in month, what, I don't even know
I
what
think
day.
it's the second month, honestly. I
I
mean,
don't even know.
of the US, second month of the US, like fifth month of the world.
Something like that. So now I completely, like, I'm the type of person that I have to make myself, make the best out of every situation. So
Yes.
like, I'm a true believer of everything happens for a reason, and sometimes you're in it alone, sometimes you're in it with the whole entire world, literally right now, right? So but we all have to make something of it, and so I think it's been beautiful watching all of my friends that are, nurses and stuff, and they're like posting their sacrifices. And so that makes me feel like, I have to do something with my life during this time, me as a person. I know there's people who are, for some people, they're so burnt out and this is their time to chill and finally rest, which I respect completely, right? I'm not gonna tell, you have to do something during this quarantine, but for me personally, I just said, you know what, I'm never going to be home like this, chilling and not having to go anywhere. So I need to
Yes.
take advantage of this, and stay home, for the people who are going through it. So so now a couple of, weeks later, I'm pretty, like, I'm enjoying this, and I really do appreciate this time. I don't know how, because I'm taking 22 units, okay?
Wow.
Right.
Dang.
So I don't even know how I was gonna do it without the quarantine, to be honest. Like, it's pretty intense. And you know, our professors, the only thing is, you know, teachers, tell me if I'm wrong, they feel like we have nothing to do, you know, because we're in quarantine. But are you kidding me? Like,
Oh
hey, I
no.
need my personal time. I need my, excuse me, and I need my own time. I have other chores and stuff to do too. You know, I have other
Mm-hmm.
fulfillments in life. So I think I just have to talk, you know, I just have to kind of tell them, like, remind them that our whole life doesn't revolve, you know, around school all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we have our lives as well. And so, you know, I'm very more appreciative of where I am now in quarantine, and I've like set up a routine for myself, you know, and I make sure I wake up early, because if I wake up past 10, that's it. I'm not doing anything in the whole day. Like, you know, I'm not doing anything. Binge Netflix, literally binge watch Netflix shows all day. But I have had those days, but overall I would say that I'm pretty you know, I try to keep busy. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Wow.
Right.
That was a lot. I'm taking it all in, and like that's I would say that's like what I feel. I feel a lot of that heavy. Probably not the part in terms of everything getting canceled for
Mm,
me, because personally I wasn't graduating. Personally, I didn't get an internship yet, but I wanted one. But just like seeing my friends in the last 8 weeks of school and having them graduate before me, and I was gonna go to different parts of the California. I was gonna go to San Diego and Sacramento and Berkeley to go visit my friends. I go to school there, and they're about to graduate, and I don't get to visit them because this whole thing's happening.
mm.
I don't get to experience school with them. Um, I mean, my job just followed me, so I'm not getting paid by them, too. So like all these aspects, like I can feel that, and I definitely connect with that. But at the end of the day, I feel like this is should be a benefit. Even though there's so many people that have come under the COVID-19, and so many people that have died because of it. That I feel like for the rest of the world, that it should be a time of of just feeling love, and focusing on what's actually essential, and this essential word is
So,
thrown up everywhere, but
I think,
like focusing on essential workers, focusing on essential things in life, on family, building relationships with that, focusing on essential things that we need to do. If there's something that you love to do that you haven't got the chance to do, and now that you're in quarantine, it's time to do it. It's time to fulfill these passion projects. So I just feel like essential is a big word that really wraps up, tightly in a nice bow.
no, it's true. And I think, like, you know, like I mentioned, you know, I think it's about like personal growth, and more so because you know, me, I was a person that was always future. Oh, in 3 years, I literally had. I'm the type of person that plans like 3 years in advance. Like, who does that? That's freaking. I'm crazy. But you know, it was a sense of, you know, everything's gonna go this way, or I plan that everything goes that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you just never know. And I think for me, it was kind of like a huge, like, you
Wake
know,
up call.
chill. Yeah, wake
Uh,
up call. Like, you need to chill. You know, you need to chill, because not everything's in control. You know, not everything's in your control. So I personally, you know, I feel better now, and I feel you're right, it is a benefit. It is an extremely huge benefit, you know. I like being home. I don't mind it. I haven't felt like, you know, I know some people are bored and stuff, but I
mm-hmm.
also haven't felt bored. You know, I'm someone that I don't say I'm bored, because I always have something to do.
Yeah.
You know, especially, you know, I still live at home with my parents, so I'm trying to, you know, spend more time with them. Because right now I would probably not even be home. What is it, Monday 7? Yeah, I wouldn't even be home right now. Yeah, you know, in the library studying or something.
Mm,
So yeah, I'm happy of this quarantine. You know, obviously I'm not happy, but I'm happy to stay home, you know, especially when it has a meaning.
yeah.
Same home for others. You know, in the beginning I was kind of like, you know, I would go out and I would go running and stuff, right? But even now I'm kind of skeptical of that, because I just feel bad. I feel guilty. So I think it hit me one day. I used to go running every day with my friend, and I go there. Literally, there's like a family. You know, at the parks, how they close them off with the caution tape. So
Yeah.
there's a whole family cutting the caution tape at a local park cutting the basketball net like covers, right? And they're cutting it, and they even brought a whole ladder out there. And I see them, and it
Wow.
pissed me off. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I think they were throwing a birthday party, and I'm it's like a running trail, and there's a park, right? And so I see people at the park at the party. I see people in the on the trail running. There's like 50 people there. So I said, "Oh heck no, I'm not coming back because this is rude, you know? Like
Mhm.
the whole stay home, and then there's like I go there and it doesn't even seem that way. It seems like everyone's just, oh okay, stay home. Let's go to the parks. It won't affect anyone. I'm like, okay, this is definitely too much of a crowd for me. So after that, I said, you know what, I'm gonna go running by myself, and make sure I go somewhere where there's no one there because I felt guilty. I felt bad, and I think it hit me even more. So my dad's a truck driver, okay, and he went to New York to drop off some stuff. And he was, he came back like this, like he was just, oh my gosh, just
Wow.
literally so frightening, like frightened. He comes and he didn't even want to touch us. He's like, oh my, I'm so scared that I have corona. Like, you don't know how, you don't understand it. In New York, it's really bad. Like the streets, Times Square, it's lonely. The hospitals, and he said, I see trucks of bodies. I see trucks of medical people, like people who are, medically, in the morgues, right?
Mhm.
So the morgues are authorized to, obviously they're supposed to take the bodies and stuff, but literally that's how many deaths there are, that medical personnel who aren't even supposed to be transporting bodies were going out there in their scrubs and everything and putting them into trucks, like huge trailer trucks, because they have
Wow.
no routes, and they don't let any funerals occur, right? So they cremate every single body, and they give it to their family. So that was, I don't know, when my dad was explaining everything, and I felt so, I think that's also that it hit me, this isn't just quarantine. It's like it's gonna be in history. There's people
Mhm.
dying and people. It's really deep. It's very heavy, and um, I think that's why I've like how you're saying. We're realizing the essential workers, and we're realizing who truly makes the world go round when something like this happens, right? So now quarantine going forward, I'm just, hopefully, I hope this ends soon, not for the quarantine, but the people getting sick and you know
Yeah.
suffering. So I feel really bad for that. I hope it gets better, but I definitely do want to do even more personal growth. I want to do focus more on everything that I've wanted to do, but because of time, or distractions, I should say, right? World distractions. We haven't gotten to it. So, like couple projects. I mean, like this, right? But I've done a couple, or of kind of interviewing and stuff over these Zoom calls, and I've learned from people. Like, I don't think we've ever had ever since that day we met in the party. I don't think we've caught up.
So I'm glad that we're doing that now.
Um,
So, wow, this has been a long time. I think we gotta cut it short on time because it's just, there's a lot that we've been talking about, and it's definitely a heavy topic. But like I said, I just want to thank you again for being on the podcast. Is there any place that people can find you at?
yeah, you can find me on you know what, I would like them to follow the project, the Kizito project. So it's yeah, the literally, and then Kizito project, and it's on Instagram. So, and then if you guys want to follow me, you can find me on there, or my I should say my Instagram is Denaly, DENALYZ. So if you guys want to talk, do something productive, let me know. I got a lot of ideas how to stay busy. So
Beautiful, beautiful. You can find me as per usual at KevMaster5 on all social media platforms. And then you can listen to It's Corona Time live on YouTube and Instagram, usually around 4 to 7 p.m. on Mondays and Thursdays. And on Tuesdays and Fridays, it should be on all your podcast platforms like Apple Music, Google Play, and Spotify. Thank you guys for listening again, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your day.
thank you. Bye.